Good morning and a very warm welcome to this discussion on my assignment 1 in creative arts in STEAM education. Today I am going to actually relate my experience with the lens of an article that we have gone through in the classroom. So the topic today is how we can actually relate our prior knowledge or existing knowledge with the emerging literature in creative arts in STEAM education. My name is Krishna Raj Bandari, and welcome to this discussion. The main author of this article that we are using to reflect my learning and then my educational practices is by Ken and Nislev, 2018, Art as Transformative Education, Starting the Conversation from a Student Art Education Journal. And then in this task, I am going to reflect in around 500, 600 words. How far I go, I don't know, but that's where the target is. I'm describing the learning environment of the educational setting where I am engaged in, and what role does the arts currently play in the setting, and how I can actually relate the arguments that the article is proposing in my own context. So first of all, how I can describe the learning environment of the educational setting where I am currently engaged in. First of all, let's look into my timeline. Okay, so I was born in Kaski. I did for 7 years in a school where I had no art concept. Even we didn't have drawing classes. Sometimes there used to be drawing competitions for extracurricular activities, but in general, classrooms were dead in that aspect. And then I moved to Kathmandu. In Kathmandu, I had an experience of writing poems, going to art exhibitions, and then learning a little bit more, but still with the extracurricular activities or co-curricular activities. And then when I got into Amrit Science Campus in Kathmandu for my science education, at that time, well, we had practicals in lab, we had classrooms, but still those were predominantly lecture driven, and art was not even visible. And all these exhibitions and practices that we did in our schoolings that disappeared in the science education. And then when I got into engineering in India, there we had some kind of clubs like photography clubs, and then also clubs like art and drama clubs, and then so on and so forth. But still, I did not participate on those because that was somehow a taboo for students like me who were studious and then academic and so on and so forth. Fast forward, I went to AIT. In AIT in Bangkok, it is a cloning of MIT in Asia at that time, but I don't know what's happening now. But then there, the focus was a little bit more on how do we maintain a transformative focus in our research and learning through art and STEAM integration. It was emerging concept at that time, not much of the materials were available, but still there was a call, perhaps we can do something in this direction also. And then I had my PhD in Finland. This is amazing experience also, though it is higher education rather than schooling, but still there used to be some kind of push for artistic inquiry, and then also in research we use poetic inquiry or other critical friend inquiry in actual research and so on and so forth, but it was still in infancy. But then when I actually started my STEAM program at Kathmandu University, when I started teaching in Kathmandu University and other colleges, I started to build this model. I have to understand psychology, I have to understand social democracy, where this country is actually having a paradigm, because the whole country is socialistic in thinking as enshrined in the constitution. And then when you have the STEAM pedagogy embedded into all of these thinking, perhaps the classroom becomes interesting. I have used this in my current settings, but the students didn't like it, nor the management. So let's relate this journey, the lenses that we have in the article. However, what art can play in this kind of setting is like kind of embark creativity and making connections. Like kind of this is the most fundamental challenge that society is facing. Teaching for creativity and transdisciplinary research and understanding that ambiguity is the part of the process and also getting out of the comfort zones. And students' ideas and thoughts lead the learning, not the other way around, like teachers' ideas and thoughts. And then also voracious researchers are developed, and our Center for Creativity becomes the strategic choice. I got impressed by the TED talk by Cindy Foley also, and then I started to think perhaps he has a very good calling in this direction. But when you look into this article from Art as Transformative Education, starting the conversation, I found is very challenging at this point in this my journey also. The article surrounds around raising teachers' self-efficacy, but our system has not embedded this into teachers' curriculum nor teachers' training for curriculum. I haven't been to any of those so far, except this program where I'm studying by my own curiosity. So students lead to not only increased personal well-being, but ultimately the overall well-being of humanity can be actually enhanced by this kind of concept. When I teach social entrepreneurship, I bring economic impact, societal impact, and environmental impact. So it's a triple bottom line concept. It's not like only one bottom line for a company, but you have to actually think of triple bottom line as such as the goal of the company. So you have greater humanity, and then also having common good of the humanity. And in this process, you engage your temporality, that your history, and then your current and future. And you are socially embedded into your social entrepreneurship calling. And then also you give emphasis not only in online and offline situations, but on online and other places. Wherever you do the research, it matters, context matters, constructivism matters. You are not learning in an isolated mode. You are in a group work, you are in the field work, you develop project, and then also use art in expressing that. For example, if time permits, at some point, I can share my classroom videos, how students actually created the music and the drama and so on and so forth. So this actually helped me to actually understand how I can actually bring a new movement of counter curriculum. So as Maxine Green in 2001 said that resistance from teachers is normal, perceptions of arts as play is important, and then also there is this initiative setting something in motion, always given by the logical Maxine Green's 2001 articles. This might be interesting to look into, like enough visual arts, dance, drama, music, and these media arts, all integrated. So far, they are not in my teaching. So this is kind of new beginning for me. And then art has a meaning for peace and humanity. And also it can generate understandings and conversations as it is happening in my social entrepreneurship classes. And empathy, compassion, and peace at the core, that what the article said is also actually driving the discussions in the classrooms. So the question is, now as the authors have actually asked for writing a new counter curriculum for our students, I think this is the time in my classroom and in my schools and colleges, I start that conversation so that humanity and common good becomes some kind of an evolving process, right? Thank you for listening, and I expect that it is their hope that readers will not be passive receivers, and I am not actually in this article's call, and I am joining the conversation with my facilitator, and if time permits in the future, if the facilitator brings these geniuses in further discussions and elaboration, so that the students look outwards to potential infinity and a transformational approach of learning in art. Thank you very much. And my journey has actually started to build this kind of model where curriculum as montage can be something that we can think. This is adapted from the conference like we did last year at the School of Education. This brings to my short narrative. It became a little bit longer, but I wanted to cover my understanding and reflections on that side. Hopefully, I'm not penalized on that. Thank you very much.